baller. Boss baller, boss, boss, baller, boss, boss. Ah, good evening. Yes, yes. Eggy wags. I guess there's no time like the present to be, letting it be known that we are all terribly sad about the fact that BuzzFeed UK has now ceased to be. I, for one, am devastated myself. The beginning of the end. You know for a fact all these organisations are going down the toilet. BuzzFeed's going to go, Vice is going to go, Vox is going to go. They're all going to fucking go. And, good. This is the signal of the beginning of the end. Thankfully, it's been a slow death. A bit too fucking slow for my liking. Bye BuzzFeed UK. I didn't know BuzzFeed did news for a long time. That's why I used to be quite surprised when people would talk about BuzzFeed or use it as a reference for, this story from BuzzFeed. I just thought it was just lists. That's what I thought. It was just it was the cancerous lists where every numbered list would be another web page, so you'd have a huge click-through rate on their website instead of a list being all on one web page. Every number one was a page, number two was a page. You have to click through, boosting their SEO like fuck. So if they took that to investors, go look at the click-through rate on our website. When you're just trying to look for the number of the list where you saw the photo on the ad or the link, you won't believe number 6, and number 6 was never what you couldn't believe. It was a fucking lie every time, man. Pure bloke. What we could say is, as I smoke a cigarette, I say BuzzFeed were pioneers of cancer. Content cancer, so I will call it. They were the pioneers of content cancer, much the same way as, I don't know, who's the most cancerous YouTube channel? J Station. Yeah. Alright. If J Station go, I'd be more devastated if J Station stopped making videos than I would be if BuzzFeed ceased to exist. At least J Station is, intentionally lying for the purposes of entertainment, whereas BuzzFeed are intentionally lying for the purposes of, I don't know their motivation, to be honest with you. Spending a hell of a lot of time convincing people, a multi-million-pound corporation convinces people that the distribution of wealth is a great idea. They sort of represent, I guess, like a lot of these corporations that push this weird socialist rhetoric. They are the pigs in Animal Farm. I think, I don't know, has anyone made that analogy yet? Well, they should have done. Well, I'm making it now. I'm claiming it. It's mine. That's what they are. Alright. Everyone is equal, but some are more equal than others. That's the quote, isn't it? That's it. That's what these news media outlets are. They are the pigs of Animal Farm. All of them. Filthy pigs. Gives pigs a bad name, because pigs are delicious and more cuddly. Probably a damn sight more intelligent too. There you go, man. What do we do this? R.I.P. BuzzFeed. Get bent and burn in hell. There's no jets flying around. There's been jets flying around here in Vietnam, like a lot of fighter jets doing maneuvers. You know, when I used to live in the countryside in the UK, every time, you know, Iran flexed its dick, you know, we lived in an area where there was Air Force bases, naval bases, what I'm talking about. And there'd be a lot of jets flying around doing manoeuvring, night manoeuvres as well, you know, just, they always do that. If they think something possibly might kick off, get people a bit ready. There'd be a lot of jets flying around here. The Chinese are moving into, they're doing a lot of movement in the South China Seas. Oh my God. They seized the Vietnamese vessel not too long ago. And then they invaded the waters with like some sort of it was an oil research. I think they're researching oil fields out in the sea. Encroached on Vietnamese territory. That didn't go down too well. There was a lot of protests, anti-Chinese protests, and there's lots of chatter about going into Taiwan as well. So it's interesting. It's getting a little bit. It's not like mega tense, but Vietnam's now on the cusp, I think, of deciding who they should be best pals with. They're having a power deciding competition or exercise. Who should we be friends with? America, because they let in what do they do? They let in an American. It's a big clary bug. Look at these bugs are so stupid. They just headbutt everything. Yeah, they let in an American naval ship dock in Da Nang for the first time since the war. You know, as a sort of an extension of goodwill. You know, to build closer ties with the US. China didn't like that either. China weren't too happy about that. They were monitoring that situation heavily. As this American warship pulled up here, there was a lot of American sailors running around, being all sailorish. You know how sailors be. Bunch of salty American sailors running around Da Nang. But yeah, decision making time. They've had a weird relationship for a long time. Ever since they had a war. They had a war, you know. I didn't know they had a war in 1979. Thought they could just march in through the north like some big boys. But they came against mans who've been fighting for 30 years and, you know, non-stop. And they sort of came to the conclusion that the Vietnamese were harder. They were harder, yeah. In the whole whose dad's harder argument, I think the Vietnamese won. Their dad was harder. Our dad's harder than yours. So they said. But, you know, then they built relationships up again in the 90s apparently, but recently, you know, China, instead of sort of trying to rebuild relations with the world that has now formed a coalition to fucking launch an inquiry into the coronavirus, you know, you thought they might want to rebuild relations, but instead they've decided to go around and swing their dick in everyone's face. You know, you thought Tekashi 6ix9ine coming home from jail early, you thought he was being a bit, you know, going, yeah, I am a rat and suck my dick. You thought that was a bit ballsy. Well, yeah, I'm comparing the Chinese government to Tekashi 6ix9ine. I am. Except, I admire it's Takeshi. I'm thinking of Takeshi's Castle. I admire Takeshi's just uber trolling. We live in the golden age of trolling, and I always wanted to run a Troll of the Year competition. I think he's definitely in the running for winning that. But yeah, I'll compare the Chinese government to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Fucking too right. Fucking too right, pal. I will. Palio Malio. You goddamn right. Let's fucking recognise what time it is. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking hilarious. I think the whole thing with Takeshi is absolutely hilarious. I really do. Because, let's face it, rap is just the world of plastic gangsterism. Always has been. There's more plastic gangsters who've spit bars than there are any legitimate ones. That's a fucking fact. Do you know what I mean? Like, isn't it time everyone sort of grew up a bit and said, snitching's okay? You know what I mean? It's with all your favourite rappers and shit, like so many of them, fucking hell man, so many of them just end up going back to jail. Or go back to jail and it just, you get a record deal, I'm famous now, and then you still hang out in the hood, shooting guns at people, do you know what I mean? It's like, well, it's not very, it's a bit silly, isn't it? I think it's a bit silly. I don't think you're doing yourselves any favour. I think the one thing that really annoys me is now, Snoop Dogg done a diss track on it. It's like, Snoop's fucking old as shit now, man. Like, in the rap terms as well. Like, rap is one of the youngest, biggest genres. You know what I mean? And hip hop is, and in rap years are kind of like dog years. You can be very old and still be relatively young. Snoop's old as fuck. He's been out the streets far longer than he's been in them. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it time you sort of let all that shit go? Isn't it time you went? I'm probably a granddad now. He's probably a granddad now. They're going speaking on the code of the streets and shit. It's like, bruv, you're a multi-millionaire who lives in a mansion now. Stop it. It'd be the same as me banging on about my years as a cleaner, saying I represent the cleaners out there. You know what I'm saying? Constantly wading in on cleaning related things. Do you know what I mean? Attending a cleaning union rally or something. I'm a cleaner. I was a cleaner, just like all of you. I'm not like a cleaner, am I? Look at me. I live in a fucking rooftop condo, man. I'm not exactly feeling the same way that the cleaners are feeling, am I? Is this metaphor and is this analogy working for you? It's working for me. It's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not out there. The code of the streets. Especially you talk about the code of the streets and shit when, let's say, you was in the streets in the early 90s. Well, it's 2020 now, okay? It was 30 years, alright? So, even the code of the streets, everything changes. I don't think the code of the streets is the same as in the 90s. You know what I mean? You got rappers so fucking old going, no, snitch, fucking, it's the code of the streets. When they were probably out on the streets, it was like the fucking warriors. You know what I mean? And they was in gangs. They weren't in blood gangs with weird tattoos on their faces. They probably dressed up as as a fruity rollerblading baseball player with looking like a Kiss fan. That's what the streets was like when they were youngins. They just used to bop each other. They probably actually said, yeah, we'll meet at 8 o'clock outside this thing and we'll have a bloody good boffing. We'll bop each other. We'll have a biff boff session, that's what they used to call it. That was fighting was called, wasn't it? Biff boffing. I'm going to bop you one, let's go biffing boffing, That's how it was sold in those days. You know what I'm saying? They probably didn't have guns, they had handkerchiefs. You know what I'm saying? They probably jousted each other on the back of warthogs or something. You know what I'm saying? It was a fucking different time. It's like you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So fucking stupid. People trying to claim there's something they're not. I mean, I think the fact that Takeshi comes out and has a cartoon rat on his face and just does exactly the. It's the in terms of comebacks, it's a spectacular one to watch. Because when I was, during the whole time, and all the memes about how much he snitched, he was like, "Oh, do you want to know who just shot JFK?" All the memes that went around. You've seen him. And I was like, this dude ain't ever gonna have a career after this. His career is gonna be dead. Like, right, he's just got one song out, and people are probably just watching it possibly out of morbid curiosity. It's like if Ian Huntley came out of jail, or came back to life, and then came out of jail, and then worked as a school janitor again. You'd be like, I didn't see this one coming, but I'm definitely gonna look at it, see how this one plays out. But I just didn't expect him to come out and just be doing exactly what he was doing before. I just didn't think it was possible. Just shows 2020. Everything's changed, man. Different game out there. The fact that he is, I think he's at number 2 at the moment, or something like that, on the Spotify plays or something. Like, bruv. The fact that he's managed to pull that off. This is the weird thing about, especially the music industry as a whole. It's like R. Kelly, MJ, and go outside of, urban. Should we just call it urban music? Go outside of that, you got people like Steven Tyler and I don't know, Bill Wyman. I mean, you can literally just be a paedophile in the music industry, and that's kind of acceptable, except for Ian Watkins, because obviously he was fucking with babies, and that's just, everyone just draws the line at babies, don't they? But all the rest of them, it's like, yeah, okay, he's got a sex cult. MJ, kisses little boys on the mouth in bed. And all this stuff, everyone sort of gives them a pass, like, but apparently being a snitch, cooperating with the police to put murderers in jail. Let's just say it how it is, yeah. Forget the code of the streets or whatever the fuck. To cooperate with the police to put murderers in jail and shit. People that sell drugs to kids, whatever. Apparently that's a fucking no-no, isn't it? That's just terrible. You're a terrible human being. You're done in this town. But if you finger a little boy's bum, and you still manage to get to number 1, they'll still play you on the radio. It's bizarre. If you're a convicted paedophile, you'll be able to go on Hot 97 in the morning, and they'll interview you and go, well, we all make mistakes, don't we, bro? Like, yeah. I mean, how many underage girls do you sleep with? About 300. Well, we all make mistakes. What did you? I snitched on my neighbour. Did you? Get out of my studio, you scumbag piece of shit. I'm gonna throw a brick at you as you walk out of the office. It's all fucking twisted, isn't it? Isn't it twisted? Is that not fucked? Marvin Gaye was a bastard. Marvin Gaye was a complete bastard. What were people saying about Marvin Gaye? Not a lot. Nothing said about Marvin Gaye, is there? The man was a bastard. Jerry Lee Lewis married his underage cousin. Anyone got anything to say about Jerry Lee Lewis? Not really. If you watch the biopic of Jerry Lee Lewis, and I watched this a lot because I used to really fancy Winona Ryder when I was a kid, and she's in it. And she plays the 13-year-old. But I think she was like probably 29 when she played it. I remember watching it when I was real young. She's always been older than me. Sorry, it's fine. When I was real young, I just been like, what the fuck? But the way they portray it in that film is kind of it's more of a comedy than anything, than a drama. It sort of portrays the fact that Jerry Lee Lewis goes to stay with his cousin, and then his second cousin is this 13-year-old girl, and he just preys upon her and ends up marrying her and shit. And it's all sort of portrayed as being fine, as in lovely, and it's portrayed in a very good light. Go watch it. It's called Great Balls of Fire. Just watch it and go. It's an entertaining film. So, you know, I'm not making you watch something that's going to bore you. You're just going to watch it and go, what? Like, why isn't this film banned? What the fuck? They banned Human Centipede 2. You know, but they won't ban that. And it's fucked. We're going to portray this sex pest as just a really good guy. He's a good guy. You know, when Jerry Lee Lewis came to the UK, they burnt his records. My mum says, and she went to a record burning and burnt her records. Like, so I mean, we had some good morals back then, and even in the 1950s, when your uncle raped you, it was just, you're probably asking for it because you winked at him. You know, this is that time, isn't it? The 50s. You know, when everything was a bit, you know, you're pregnant and stressed, have a cigarette, you know. I think, I'm feeling depressed. I'm saying, well, have you thought about beating your slave today? Oh, no, I didn't think about that. You know, this is those times, you know. You know, the times of posters then, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs, you know, to stay in homes. These are those times, but people still, even during those times, still knew that Jerry Lee Lewis was a wrong'un, and they burnt his records, and my mum was one of them. You know, when he came to the USA, they protested, said, this guy's an incestuous paedophile. He shouldn't be touring here. That was in the 50s they said that. In the 50s, and they're probably going, oh, you know, these Bible-thumping, these right-wing conservative, you know, what's the word? People that hate fun. What the fuck? Like, oh, look at them. Yeah, they're just scared of rock and roll. It's the devil's music. No, we just don't like a man that marries his 13-year-old cousin. We're just not into it. And this is the 50s, when it's the 1950s. Think of what shit was acceptable back then. Like, homosexuals were in jail. Not just because there was a high crime rate amongst homosexuals. They were in jail because they were homosexuals. You know, this is the 50s, yeah, but they still were like, nah, Jerry Lee Lewis. Nah, no thanks. But that's like, still totally acceptable that they made a biopic of it in the fucking 90s and said, hey, he was a legend. What the fuck? That's the industry. That's the whole entertainment industry. There are certain things that are perfectly acceptable. It's more acceptable to be a paedophile than it is to be right wing, and probably to be a conservative. You tell me I'm wrong. Look around. Look around it. That's fucking weird, isn't it? You know, because in general, you know, even when I was super left wing, when I was borderline communist at one point. You know, I still knew that paedophiles were bad, and conservatives just had a different point of view. I still knew that. But in the entertainment industry, it's like, that's the biggest sin of all. It's like, well, who did you vote for? Right, I see. And I see. You voted for George Bush, but he does fuck 12-year-old boys. I don't know. Can I trust this guy? R.I.P. Isaac Cappy. It's been about a year since he killed himself. Fuck. And therefore never get to the bottom of whether Seth Green was a proper wrong'un. I do remember. I got to stop. I have no problem with Seth Green, by the way. I don't really like him at all, but You know, I don't have an active disdain for him. He just doesn't feature in my radar. You know, he doesn't play a role in my mind. You know, because I do realise I was on a stream banging on about how it's a disgrace that Seth Green earns more money than a lot of good people. You know, we live in a world. My whole point was we live in a world where, you know, there'll be a great surgeon, you know, but Seth Green will probably have more money than him. You know, that's how much celebrities get money. Even when you're a shit one, you're still getting a lot of money compared to most people. You know, it's kind of the, you know, people bang on about Nicholas Bentner. Nicholas Bentner, the Arsenal striker, Swedish, who hardly ever played. And it was like, Bentner's shit. Why is he even still? I know he doesn't play that often, but why does Arsene Wenger insist on keeping Nicholas Bentner but letting other players go? No one could work it out. And it's like, Nicholas Bentner earns a shitload of money, and he's shit. And he was at that time, one of the top 4 football clubs in the UK. Obviously now Arsenal are about as good as Burnley, but at that point in time, you know, like footballers do earn too much money because Nicholas Bentner exists, you know? That's when you know it's all fucked up. I was like, yo, Nicholas Bentner. Are some football players overpaid? Yes, because Nicholas Bentner exists. That's why. I'm not saying that. And all these people that goes, oh, nurses should earn as much money as footballers. No, because they're not as entertaining. You know, I went to a hospital one time and watched a bunch of nurses work for 90 minutes. No, at one point did I decide, or feel the urge to go, ooh, or cheer, or go foul. You know, it didn't evoke any emotion in me. I didn't find it entertaining. You know, when they stuck an IV drip in someone, you know, I was expecting that rush of when someone scores a goal after, you know, 50 minutes of no goals. I didn't get that when I was in a hospital. No, I didn't experience any of that elation. So, you know, I'd throw the point back that I don't think nurses should earn as much as football players because it's crap entertainment, to be honest with you. You know, it's just not as good. It's not as good as watching a football match. Even watching a 10-year-old Sunday league match for autistic kids is more entertaining than watching nurses. You know, I'm just going to throw it out there for you that's the level of entertainment that nursing has. You know, it's just the way it is. This is entertainment, isn't it? You know. But I do think, you know, someone that sings on a cruise ship or someone that performs in Benidorm as a Amy Winehouse tribute act probably should earn more money than Seth Green. Definitely. I remember seeing a Lionel Richie tribute act in Mallorca, and it was fucking entertaining. And the guy, I think he was Spanish, but he was speaking. He hadn't blacked himself up, but he'd made himself look as black as possible. Let's put it that way. He was very tanned naturally, but he'd done it. And Lionel's a light-skinned geezer, really, so he pulled it off, and without being offensive. And then he sort of had this faux American accent in between songs, where he was actually talking like he was Lionel Richie. It was fucking brilliant. He'd say, "Hey, you might know a friend of mine, Marvin Gaye. Marvin was a good friend of mine. Who likes Marvin Gaye? Hey man, I love Marvin. Marvin was a very good friend of mine." I was like, "No, brother, you know you're not Lionel Richie, right? Because if you are, we haven't even paid. Didn't even need to pay to watch him. Lionel Richie's very cheap." That smells good, man. But so the point was, you know, that was more entertaining than anything Seth Green's ever done. So therefore, that Lionel Richie impersonator, I don't know how much he earned. There's a very small bar, so it can't have been a lot. But he should get paid more than Seth Green does. just based on entertainment value. You know what I'm saying? You know? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. You know, I even know some amateur singers. Well, they are. I guess they are professional because they get paid for it, but they are amateur. I don't know what's the word for it. Pub singers and shit. You know, and they're crap. You know, they're actually crap. But I think they're probably more entertaining than Seth Green, without a doubt. And anyway, Seth Green, according to Isaac Cappy, had a secret, you know, child sex dungeon. So fuck him, innit? You know, even if it is a lie, still fuck him. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? You know. That's my position. That's where I'm standing. We're gonna hold the line on that one. I mean, I'm not holding the line on that fucking position. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? There's a weird beetle on the curtain. He seems okay. Maybe he's the thing that bites me at night. I don't know. Well, that's a vampire. You never know in these foreign countries, do you? Fucking vampires and werewolves and all kinds of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's it. I'm done with talking about Seth Green again for this time. It's not my house to talk about. I was supposed to be walking around the stream last night, but I met some oil riggers, and they were getting absolutely smashed, and they decided that they liked me and paid for all my drinks, so I did that instead. It's not often you get all your drinks bought for you by oil riggers. On shore leave, the boat was parked up and they were out there. They definitely earn a shitload of money. One was Malaysian, one was from Singapore, and one was from Vietnam. You know, it's like the start of I guess it's the opening line to a ill-advised joke. Yeah. They were throwing money around like fucking no one's business. They were out on the town. They were out on the town, man. I mean, it's just they were doing exactly what you expect oil riggers on shore leave to be doing, just buying bottles of whiskey and harassing women, but in a fun way. Fucking, it did not disappoint. All my preconceptions and prejudgments and presuppositions, whatever you want to say, about drunken oil riggers, well, they were all met last night. I was not disappointed in the slightest. It was fantastic. It was the best of times and the best of times, all rolled into one. Although they were in a bar where you could, make requests for music, and they were just playing generic shite. And he was like, "Go on, request a song, request something British." And I was like, "You might regret this." And I put on More Fire Crew. Oi, who's that money for me? Oi, who's that money for me? Oi, who's that More Fire Crew? Oi, oi, oi. By the end of the song, the Malaysian guy was like, don't think he appreciated the whole Britishness of it, I suppose. Well, everyone's a fucking critic, aren't they? You shouldn't ask me to request a fucking song, should you? You don't like the outcome, that's what I say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was that. Now you're probably thinking, oh, why don't you stream with the oil riggers? I don't know, you just don't know how this shit's going to end up. Could have been, it did get a bit fruity actually, but Speaking of it, I think he also probably earns way too much money. And probably James Corden, don't you think? I think he earns too much fucking money. I don't know how much money he earns, but you know late night talk show hosts in America earn too much. And James Corden, clearly, out of all of them, is probably earning way too much. Unless you want to count Lily Singh. But I don't think she's probably not earning that much. And that's probably why they gave her the job in the first place, because, you know, a YouTuber should be grateful to be on television. Right. That's how I'd imagine it. Which does, it still seem, I'm thinking about that, like, obviously, everyone, I'm talking about the thousands of people who have probably made content just on Lily Singh, because they know, because people love to watch videos of people shitting on Lily Singh, because everyone can't fucking stand her, you know. But I might as well have something to say about Lily Singh, I suppose, seeing as everyone else has spread their opinion around. But I'm not doing it for clicks. I'm just, I'm streaming right now, so obviously not. But like, you know, well, maybe I should just have a whole stream called "I'm gonna shit on Lily Singh" for an hour. Probably get loads of views. People just love it. They can't get enough of people shitting on Lily Singh. But with that said, I will shit on her because. It is fucking. I think it is one of those things where you could just pick any clip from that show and it'd be terrible. From what I can see, it's a weird one. There seems to be. I don't know if because it is all Hollywood, I suppose. The TV industry, movies. You know, it's all in Hollywood. So I guess it's the Hollywood system. Just to give it the proper umbrella term so we understand what we're talking about, we'll call it Hollywood. And that, they don't seem to know what they're doing. I think they got this weird idea that they should be doing, they're just doing stuff and rewarding absolute failure. You know what I'm saying? It's very weird. Like with Elizabeth Banks makes a complete Charlie's Angels reboot that no one wanted. Completely bombed, and they rewarded her by giving her an even bigger project to work on, which is very strange when you consider it's just such a weird thing. You look at there's directors out there whose careers have been completely fucked by Hollywood because they, you know, had one bad incident. Richard Stanley, who has finally made a comeback after 20 years. That motherfucker had made a movie for 20 years. He's the guy that made The Colour Out of Space that's just come out. Well, came out a few months ago. You know, he made a couple of low budget, successful horror movies. Then he went to Hollywood. You know, he's doing the big Hollywood film, Island of Dr. Moreau. He got sacked after 2 weeks, maybe. And then he pretty much blacklisted. His name was Mud. Couldn't make another film after that until very recently. So fair play to him for making a comeback. You know, he didn't even get the film was a flop anyway, but his name wasn't on as director. Then you got Danny Cannon. Anyone remember Danny Cannon? No, you probably won't. Danny Cannon directed. What did Danny Cannon direct? The Young Americans. It was a British film. It was like a gang type thing. Can't remember what it was about. It was quite a violent film. Came out in the 90s. That was his first film. Met some success. You know, some Hollywood producer looked at that and went, he's the guy. He directed the first Judge Dredd film. If you remember, that film wasn't received very well, and it didn't do very well commercially either. Danny Cannon hasn't made a film since. Or has he? Danny? I think I looked this up a while ago. I can't remember, but he hasn't done anything. Basically, he could have been, you know, he could have been Christopher Nolan or something. You know, he could have been. But no, one flop, and he was fucked. There are other examples. Josh Trank, although he has got a film that's come out now. Um, you know, with Tom Hardy playing Al Capone. I think it's called Capone actually, which is clearly just another example of Tom Hardy just loves overacting. That's all he can do is just act too much. But that Fantastic Four film was a diabolical mess. He was almost done, but somehow he's managed to pull it off. Then there's the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, was the guy that directed The Lives of Others. That very well received, critically acclaimed, quite successful German film about the East German secret police. You know, The Lives of Others. He came to Hollywood. What did he do? He made The Tourist with Johnny Depp. Complete flop, complete failure. He's done. His career's done. And the guy that made Donnie Darko could never quite follow up that success after he made that film The Box or something. Failure. What I'm saying is there's a lot of people who sort of have, get given a big Hollywood project. It fails, they're done. But Elizabeth Banks has been rewarded for that failure. The same way as like Lily Singh, it's clearly shit. The show's shit. It's not done well. They still give her a second series. In Hollywood and especially in television, like they'll pull in America, they'll pull TV shows after like it will run for 5 episodes, and they'll just pull it from the air and replace it with something else. That never happens in the UK. They make it. If it doesn't do well, they'll still play it out until the last episode. Possibly because in America they have, sitcoms run for like 24 episodes or something ridiculous, whereas in the UK it'd be like 6 to 10. So I guess it's a different game, I suppose. But the fact is, they'll pull a show, they'll just take it off the air and go, no, that's not working, fuck them. But they didn't do that with her. And they give her another series. It's like they don't know what they're doing, and then when it's failing, they'll just keep doing stuff that fails, as if that's what they should be. It's very bizarre, especially for, an industry that doesn't make anything of artistic merit anymore. So it's clearly everything is created with the ambitions of dollars. They don't want to win awards, they don't want to win acclaim, they just want to win your money out your pocket. And yet they still keep promoting failure. It's just very bizarre because of what it ticks. It ticks these boxes that they think need to be ticking, or they think, or they've constantly been sold this data that says, no, this is what people want. Or they just look at Twitter and they think that's how everyone thinks, even though they can look at the numbers that says, no, this isn't doing very well. It says, well, Twitter likes it. So well, that doesn't really represent everything. I don't know what it is. What I do know is that Elizabeth Banks has probably sucked someone's dick or something at least, or something. But she's in the I'm just joking. But she's in the industry, right? She's part of the machine. She's been around for a long time. She hasn't really made a massive splash in the industry, but she's in the industry. You know what I'm saying? So they would pick her because she's in it. Now Lily Singh ain't in the industry, so for them to even pick her in the first place to have a late night talk show always seemed a bit fucking weird. But then I guess no one knew who James Corden was in America, and then he got a show. So maybe they looked at that and went, well, that'll work. Let's get this bird. At least she's got our silly accent. But James Corden isn't a comedian, but he is an actor, and he did write or co-wrote Gavin and Stacey. I would put it out to the jury that he didn't write the funny bits. He may have written a couple of funny bits, and he had a sketch show. It wasn't very good, as people have probably chosen to forget, but it wasn't very good. But he could still do stuff in it, So he I expect when he had his screen test and stuff, he probably did quite well. But she couldn't have, because clearly not cut out for that kind of thing, and yet they gave it to her anyway. It just seems very bizarre. It's like, why did you do that? And and who's still there going, no, this is working. It's not working. No, it is, and it will. Yeah, but it's clear it's not working. And no, this is fine. It just seems very strange that they choose her. Like, were they always thinking, oh, we'll get a YouTuber? Because they tried to do the whole YouTuber thing on TV. Like when Zoella and Alfie Days? That's it, Mr. Zoella. And him and a couple of other of those fucking cheese munchkins got given a fucking TV show. It didn't last long because it didn't fucking work. And he was probably like, well, I actually earn money from just sitting in my bedroom, thanks, so, see you later, mate. That didn't work. So it's not like it hasn't been done before. It just seemed like a very weird thing to do, like, and, right, maybe if there are people on YouTube who basically have talk shows. There's people with their own talk shows, or that kind of formula. There's people who do stuff that's more in line with standing there doing a monologue and then speaking to celebrities and being funny. There are people who actually do that. There's a lot of them who would probably do it very well. Probably could pull it off. But she just makes, like, she's like, the blueprint for late puns. Oh, comedy aimed at 8-year-olds. It's just like, well, why you give this person who has never done this kind of thing before, isn't a comedian, what you want their audience, and who's their audience? Is 8-year-olds. Well, 8-year-olds aren't up at 1 in the morning, are they? Unless they got very bad parents. But there's 8-year-olds with bad parents will let them up at 1 a.m. to watch TV are few and far between. It's not really a demographic that you can, place your bets on and go, hedge your bets, go, yeah, this will work. Because all 8-year-olds are up at 1 a.m. That's not going to fucking work, is it? So, I don't know. I have no idea what the fuck they were thinking. It just constantly seems to be a system and a bunch of people who are making very bizarre decisions based on, I don't know. I don't want to go down the whole thing of the whole diversity thing, or you need to tick all these boxes, or we need more women, or whatever the fuck it is, because by and large they know they'll insidious. Do you know? I don't know. It was a fucking weird decision, and it hasn't worked, and yet again, failure has been rewarded. The lesson that they're trying to teach people is success is meaningless. I don't know. Especially when you're a self-made person and you made yourself on YouTube, from nothing to, being a millionaire just through creating your own content, your own way, doing it yourself, right? It is an achievement, okay? So if you were taking that mindset and your content was the content that she's doing on television and it's failing, then you're not successful, because you're not going to make money, because no one's going to watch your shit, are they? You're going to lose subscribers, and you're not going to gain any subscribers. You're not going to gain views, because people go, this is shit. So it won't work out for you. But on television, you're just given a wage, and it's like, this is successful, but it's not. And I guess all the revenue comes from advertising space. So success is kind of relative. I don't know. Or maybe the reason they renewed it is because 1,000 other YouTubers, reaction and commentary channels have watched her videos repeatedly, and then reposted them, and then done their video on it, and then people have, out of morbid curiosity, have gone and watched it, and probably because they've disabled the like and dislike buttons in the comment section, they can't really figure out the real metrics of it, why people are watching this. You know, I call it the Die Antwerp. No, Die Antwerp. I'm getting two things confused. That's a town in Belgium. Die Antwerp. I always thought the reason that they got signed by Interscope was not because they thought this music was great. I think once they just, because like Enter the Ninja and Evil Boy, those two music videos are quite notorious. Like, Evil Boy is just one of the most insane things I've ever seen. I mean, you know, it's just got some guy rapping in Zulu who's got clearly a massive dick and he's just swinging it around, and there's these weird penis goblins, and it's fucked. The whole thing's fucked, you know. And the Ninja's just like, what is this? And loads of people watched that because they were like, what is this? It was out of curiosity. It was more morbid curiosity. It wasn't. They weren't watching it going, oh, this is. I mean, some people thought it was great. Some people thought it was shit. The spectacle was great. You know, a record company looks at that and goes, well, it's got a lot of numbers, hasn't it? A lot of people watching this. Right, we'll give you a record deal. It's like, well, it's not going to work because people are looking at it because they're like, no. Even Bang's got millions of views, but Bang's has got millions of views because everyone was going, have you seen how shit Bang do? That's pretty much, that's how that happened. Do you know what I mean? Rebecca Black. Friday's got millions of fucking views. Do you know? Seen anyone give Rebecca Black a record deal? They probably would now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just people watching something out of just morbid curiosity. Going, have you seen this shit thing? Because it doesn't cost you anything to watch something. You know, and you don't have to devote that much time because you can watch it any time to watching something shit. You can just go, yeah, here's that shit thing. Do you want to look at it? Yeah, okay, let's watch this shit thing. Maybe they were just looking at that and thinking, well, lots of people are watching it on YouTube, without realising that people are watching all those clips just so they can hate on the bitch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Katie Hopkins. A lot of people don't like Katie Hopkins. And everyone get wound up about Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins is like an OG troll in this game. She figured out that you can actually just wind people up on Twitter and, you know, carve out a name for yourself. She realised that more people would respond to her tweets and give her fucking traction from just being outraged by what she said. You know, she goes on this morning and says, you can't name your kids Chelsea or Tyler. Everyone gets upset, and millions of people tune in. Everyone hates her, and then, you know, some producer this morning goes, hey, that Katie Hopkins segment's gone viral on the internet. Bring her back on to talk some fucking nonsense, please. You know. There you go. I'll tell you this. No, if Katie Hopkins hadn't been successful, Donald Trump would be president of America. I fucking guarantee it, man. Guarantee it. She's the blueprint. Yeah. A woman can troll herself into being successful. A man, or already successful man, can troll himself into the White House. Maybe that's what they're doing with Lily Singh. It's like, well, people love watching this because they fucking can't stand her, but at least they're watching. You know, I can't wait to watch Lily Singh and fucking hate on her. Oh, Lily Singh pisses me off, and I'm gonna watch everything she does because it just fucking annoys me. Maybe that's the case, you know. It's like Onision. More people watch videos about Onision than watch Onision videos. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. It's like, Onision is dead. Like, his channel is dead. Like, he gets, what, 3,000 views now? A guy who's got a million plus subs just gets about 3,000 or 4,000 views a video these days. Do you know what I mean? But you make a video going, Onision is crazy, you'll probably get 1 million fucking views. Everyone knows who he is. Well, some people probably don't know who is this Onision person? Does he exist? Like, that's fucking crazy. That's the world we live in. Same thing happened with Jake Paul. That's what I think. Remember, everyone made a video. Jake Paul sucks. Have you seen this shit song he did? You know, people just loved hating on Jake Paul. I mean, that went on for a good 6 months. Probably made millionaires out of people, that did. You know, more people watching videos about Jake Paul than actually watching Jake Paul videos. Well, that's the case now, because people are still making videos about Jake Paul. Jake Paul's latest scam, or this is what Jake Paul did. No one's really watching Jake Paul videos no more. But people will watch videos about Jake Paul until the sun goes down. His fame will carry on, even though he's not. He has no relevancy. It's fucking weird. That shit's weird, man. He'll be the new Onision in a few years, when he's completely fucking totally irrelevant. No one watches his videos no more. All his fans have grown up to be, you know, well-balanced 11-year-olds. You know, so they won't be watching it no more. But guaranteed, you know. Guaranteed someone will be constantly making Jake Paul videos going, hey, look at Jake Paul. Seen what he's done this week? Well, no one's seen it. Fucking nuts. I think they'll be making videos about Onision even when he's dead. They'll be shitting on him and he'll be dead. Yeah, probably kill himself and then still make fucking videos. Oh, Onision killed himself for clout. You know. That's probably the best thing you can do, is just become an Instagram comedian that everyone hates and don't make any funny content, as most Instagram comedians do. You know, just make shit Instagram comedy videos. And then some commentary channel, you know, the usual, most of them have a series called I Hate Instagram or something, or go Instagram Toss, or Shitty Instagram Comedy, and that's the whole series of videos they do, and they'll find your shit comedy on Instagram, you know, and then you'll blow up, because they'll say, look at this idiot on Instagram, and then suddenly millions of people will watch this video of a guy shitting on you, and they'll come watch your Instagram shit comedy because they want to shit on you, and then you'll be massive, and then you can go to, you know, a few shitty brands and go, hey, do you want to sponsor one of my posts? Look how many views I get, even though everyone just watches your Instagram because they hate you, and if you promoted anything, no one's going to buy it because everyone hates you and hates your opinion and everything you stand for. But you know, you could run a nice little scam on brands for about at least a few months, I reckon. Probably do quite well. Maybe I'll do that. You know, just make those comedy videos that don't make any sense. There's no punchline. I'll just shout and stuff and have a catchphrase like, in the shits. Like, my balls is smooth. That's what I'll call it. My balls is smooth. That's it. In every video I'll just go, yo, my balls is smooth. Completely out of context. You know, when your mate's got a hot mum, you know, just gets a MILF bending over and I go, damn, brrr, my balls is smooth, and that'll be it. That'll be my catchphrase. It'll make no sense, but you know, fucking Leon Lush will watch it and make a reaction video to it, and then I'll be fucking famous. So watch this space. That'll be it. I'll do 10 videos a day on Instagram. Just going, yeah, my balls are smooth though. That'll be it. My fucking catchphrase. I'll be a catchphrase guy. I'll sell 10,000 t-shirts in a week saying my balls is smooth. So, easily done. There you go. Really, it's just a piece of piss, isn't it? Anyway, as I am still, I just want to end it. Look, what in the fuck is with this? I'm putting it on blast. What? This has just happened today on Facebook. This. Wait, what the fuck is this? Facebook avatars. And trust me, that one of that girl, that computer-generated cartoon image of a girl looks pretty hot. And trust me, the girl that is of will never look like that. Okay, these fucking. I mean, it's like they put everyone in the simulator. This is it. Look, this is the future. This is what happened. Right, there you go. There's the Facebook avatar. You're at home. You can't go out. Okay. Well, apparently you can go out now a little bit, but they've already conditioned you to be in the simulation. And here's what you're going to look like in the simulation. You are in the simulation now. You're in the Matrix. They've already sold you the idea that having a fucking silly avatar is the best way to be, because it definitely, I mean, that one definitely looks better than the real thing. And therefore, the idea's been sold to you. You're going to be plugged in, microchipped. You'll never have physical contact with a human being again. You are enslaved by the robots. And they eventually, you know, the deal closer was looking like a silly cartoon fuck on the internet. That's how they sold it to you. So, congratulations. Anyway, I will waved out. Amazing I've made it this far. I'll see you Wednesday for some rip tickling humdingers. That's what I'm calling it, rip tickling humdingers, you understand me?